From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. A production of iHeartRadio.
Hello, welcome back to the show. My name is Matt.
My name is Noel.
They call me Ben. We're joined, as always, with our super producer, Dylan, the Tennessee pal Fagan. Most importantly, you are you. You are here. That makes this the stuff they don't want you to know. This is a cool one for us, you guys. We were lucky enough not just to perform live in international waters, but to also record our long-awaited exploration of the Bermuda Triangle. And we just want to touch base, let you know what you're getting into before you hear the tape.
Yeah, I don't know how Virgin Voyages was okay with this. I mean, we're not really the fear-mongering type, but there is something to be said about exploring disappearances, famous disappearances of seafaring vessels and aircraft all around this particular geographical region that we were, in fact, sailing through.
Yes. And to put your mind in the space where we are, as listeners of this episode, you go into a large place called the Red Room, which is already intriguing, right?
Not related to Black Widow.
Mm-hmm. No, Twin Peaks. That's the Red Lodge, but similar. No, the Red Room is the thing with the curtains in Twin. Anyway, carry on. Yes,
it's
exactly
a
that.
phenomenal venue. It's huge, and we have these ginormous, that's a technical term, screens behind us with some excellent video work by none other than our own Mr. Matt Frederick. We've got a lively crowd of like 500-something people who could have done any number of other things, right? Because we're right next to a casino as we're recording.
Yep, not going to talk about that. I think Ben's alter ego did a little better than I did, but you know what? It's all for fun. It's all for funsies. And shout out to the crew there at the Red Room.
Oh, Victor, legend.
100%. I think this is the highest one of the highest production value type of live shows that we've ever gotten to do. And Matt, huge shout out to you for prepping those incredible moving backdrop images, as well as cutting what you have done in the past on Bermuda Triangle, an old YouTube episode from the early Stuff They Don't Want You to Know days that really held up, other than I think you mispronounced the word Bimini. Bimini? We talked about it backstage.
Bimini,
it was
yeah,
absolutely.
I mispronounced the word, and I called it Bimini in my original research. Yeah,
an absolutely hilariously honest mistake. It was just funny because we've been saying it a bunch, and we almost didn't notice it until we heard it, and then we're like, "Oh, that's not how we've been saying it."
Right. Do check that out. Do forgive my mispronunciation there. Is well-intentioned, but we do pronounce Bimini correctly in our live shows. So where this is going to pick up, folks, is going to be right after our original YouTube video on the Bermuda Triangle plays, and we walk out into the breach, and we immediately start yelling about the Bermuda Triangle after word from our sponsors. From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
Ahoy! Ahoy, sailors! Oh my gosh, you guys! Wow. Hello!
Wow. Look at all of you lovely people.
Holy smokes!
There's too many of you in here. We have a problem.
I guess now we have to do a good job.
I guess that's true. We'll do our level best.
So we are Ben, Matt, and Noel of Stuff They Don't Want You to Know.
Aw, thank you.
And before we get started, we thought we would play a little bit of a game, okay? So we're going to point this way, right? If you're on this side, when we point to you, we want you to all yell out triangle, okay? So let's try it.
Triangle! That's good.
Okay.
10 out of 10, no notes. It was good.
And if you're on this side...
Can you guess?
We're going to yell Bermuda.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So you ready?
Wait. Don't get the gun. On cue.
Yeah.
Cthulhu!
Rises!
Sorry.
We'll workshop that.
I get
one.
why people like sports. That's fun.
That is fun, right?
Was anybody at the summoning ritual that we all performed last night on the top of the ship during the thunderstorm?
All dressed in red, gigantic octopus.
Yeah. It was like the password was Fidelio. To get on with that,
Nice.
Totally cool.
Totally cool. We want to be honest with you for 2/3 of us, from Noel and myself. This is not only our first Virgin voyage, this is our first cruise ever.
I kind of get the appeal. I kind of get it. Like, it wasn't maybe something that I would have done on my own, but now I think I'm cruise coded or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a problem.
Cruise pilled. That's the term.
It's a problem. I'm already budgeting out for the next 3 years that I'm going to
Yes.
spend at sea. It's going to be great.
So give us a woo if this is also your first Virgin cruise.
That's a lot of the woos have it. The woos have it. Yes.
This just in. There's one more shout out we wanted to give. We've had such a great time, Matt, Noel, and myself, hanging out, meeting some people. I know I see a couple faces in the crowd who watched me drunkenly lose at blackjack. I hope we're all still friends. But we learned, you guys, that a lot of people are here because they had a birthday this week.
Okay.
So if you had a birthday this week or you have one coming up, woo, right? Yeah.
Wow.
If you had a birthday today, let's hear a woo. Hey!
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Got
so-
the chili pepper shirt
Yeah.
for the win. Happy birthday, bro. Yes.
So on the count of 3, we're all going to wish each other a happy birthday, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to all of us, even
Yeah.
those whose birthdays it is not.
Happy birthday at some point. Yeah. Well,
Speaking of time, that video you guys just watched, that's from like 2011, 2010 when we
Right.
made that.
When we didn't know how to pronounce the word bimini.
that was on me. That was
No,
Benny.
it's cool.
We had just
We're
read
from
it
Atlanta.
a bunch, okay?
This was before my time. They made a ton of those videos. So
Yes, they did.
And now we have united here, not just the 3 of us, not just our super producer, Dylan the Tennessee Pal Fagan.
Yes. Rutabaga King.
We forgive you for being handsomer than the 3 of us. Okay?
I know.
I do
I'll
not
never
forgive
forgive
him
you.
for that. I begrudge him that.
And
frankly.
we consider you part of our show. You're our fellow conspiracy realists. You have given us your time. We're going to share it together. And when we first started talking about this idea, guys, we looked around and we said, wait, have we never done an episode on the Bermuda Triangle?
First the background, the show started off as a video-only YouTube series back when was that? Like in 2009, when it was still called like what, iTunes Video or something like that?
Correct.
Yeah,
That's what it
right.
was. We were number 1 on iTunes Video. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So we've been at it for a while, but then it became an audio podcast. We've been doing that for a decade plus.
Yep.
And somehow, only that video is the only time we've ever talked about Bermuda Triangle.
Isn't that crazy? And we have explored so much stuff. But like the rest of humanity, and this is true, we've got a lot more exploration to do in the ocean. We talk about this fact all the time. You guys probably know it. But human civilization right now knows more about the moon than they do about the bottom of the ocean.
Except for James Cameron, who knows everything.
He's put in the time.
Yeah.
He's put in. Thank you, James. There's James
There
in the
he
back.
is.
What's up,
Thanks,
man?
buddy.
Dude. Thank you, brother.
Congrats on Avatar 13.
In 28.
And yes, exactly.
Do we want to talk about some of the experiences we've had? Yeah.
Okay, so just as a fairly new cruiser, what was the term? One who cruises?
Sailor?
A sailor.
That is the
as
branding, the preferred nomenclature of Virgin Cruises.
As we drink out of
As
our
a new
Virgin
sailor.
cups.
I imagine that all of us now have had that experience where we go out on the top deck and you're just standing there and you're just looking out at what our eyes can only understand as infinite water, infinite sky, some clouds, maybe one boat, but mostly just the best thing our mind can come up with, infinity. Right?
Well, it's like when we were doing it together, I think I pointed out that like I get why back in the day people thought the world was just going to end at some point along that horizon. It tracks like the phenomenon of experiencing it. I can totally feel that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we have to imagine it's not just out and up. it's also down.
Oh boy, is it ever. Yeah.
It goes super deep. We don't know much about it. We do know that we're all here together live in the actual Bermuda Triangle. We did, Jamie, don't get mad. We didn't know whether we would be able to do this show, but we have been fascinated by this. We thought this is the best place to explore this. So one of our first questions is, what do we think about when we think about the Bermuda Triangle, right? Mystery? I mean, triangles.
Sure. Shapes, mainly.
Shapes.
Yeah. Isosceles.
Plane crashes
Pythagoras.
and boats going missing.
No, that stuff,
ships.
I was way off base.
Yeah. Extraterrestrials, aliens, ghosts.
Yep, aliens.
Sea monsters, aliens.
That one episode of Scooby-Doo from 1978.
Yeah, do it. Yeah,
I believe it was called
pull it
a creepy tangle in the Bermuda Triangle. There were skeleton people involved.
Yeah.
That's really your main source about learning about this topic. Pay no attention to what
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you?
You're in the Bermuda Triangle. That's
To
where.
Bermuda.
I think about, what was that Philadelphia experiment, or there was something that we did an episode on a long time ago. I don't
Extra
think.
dimensional travel creating cream cheese.
Also true.
Yes.
So maybe we're getting carried away. We know this. We talked to a lot of our fellow sailors, and everybody has an idea, has a theory. As we'll learn tonight, we actually went and spoke with the captains themselves, the captain and the deputy captain. Let's give it up for them.
Yes.
Whoa.
They're not
Are
here
they
because they're like steering the ship and stuff. So, but
Somebody's steering, right?
What?
Somebody's steering.
I think
right?
so. Is there auto? I don't know how it works. Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we did check to see if we could curse a little bit in this show. So I'll break the seal here.
We'll drop some soft.
Those guys are so fucking
Yeah, they're freaking
Yeah.
close.
they're like firefighters, also doctors.
The onesies they wear,
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. I
Yeah.
love you. Love
Yeah.
seeing them walk around. They're like astronauts.
Yeah, and that air of like a little dangerous, you know, like, just a little dangerous.
a little bit.
They got us
Yeah.
in good hands.
Oh yeah, we're talking to, and obviously they're taller than me, both of them, and they're like, yeah.
You're like, okay, we're good. We're gonna be fine.
So we also think we've heard about time travel theories. We've also heard about crime. Dare we say true crime?
Did anybody go to any of the other live podcast events?
Yeah.
This episode is going to be a little less murdery, so consider it a bit of a palate cleanser. But we love our fellow podcasters,
Oh my God.
Betrayal and Buried Bones. Huge
Yes.
shout out to all of those amazing folks.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm just gonna out myself a little bit. I've kind of embarrassed myself a couple times. I've been walking around to some of you and just going, "Do you guys really understand who Paul Holes is? Like this guy in the Golden State Killer?
He's
it's
a rock
kind
star.
of a big deal."
No, it's
Sorry
true.
about that.
Matt is
Sorry.
a bit of a
Sorry.
fanboy.
Hang on a sec. Let's take a quick pause here, step away from this live show, hear a word from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back from the Red Room. And we're back.
So we do a bunch of shows. This is one of our favorite shows because now we get to talk about true crime. We get to talk about mystery and the allegations of the paranormal. This is kind of like true extraterrestrial crime, or maybe extra true terrestrial crime.
Well, it's not terrestrial. It's on the sea.
Extra
Oh,
true
wait, what are you
maritime
talking
I know
crime.
maybe it is terrestrial. It's on the
it's
planet.
still the planet.
No, it's true.
So the pitch for the Bermuda Triangle, it's something that we have been obsessed with ever since we were wee young tykes, and just date us a little bit here, before podcasts were a thing, you know.
We're talking like those Time Life books, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia Britannica, but on a bookshelf.
Our coffee table, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So the pitch is that multiple ships and planes over decades or over centuries have gone missing. No wreckage, no survivors, no explanation.
Bit of a
Just
poof situation. Yeah. Or a
vanished
pop
without a
situation.
trace. Yeah. a poof and a pop.
A poof and a pop. They're
So
gone.
the Sargasso Sea hungers, they say, right? And every so often, it consumes the unwary vessel. So that's the pitch, right? For true believers, it appears there are numerous examples to back up this legend. Maybe we talk about a few of the most famous, which we saw in our video, right? Yeah.
The video before the video.
The video before the video.
That was the first amazing video that Matt put together.
Yeah, this is all Matt Frederick, by the way. Let's give him a hand.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about. Tell us a bit about that footage that you found.
Sure. Well, that first one, was that a little bit creepy? Hopefully it was, like, just to put you a
mildly
little bit off.
unsettling, I would call it.
It's just old archival footage. If anybody doesn't go to archive.org and go to things like the Pralinger Archives and other things that just go way back into the 1920s, 30s, 40s, you can find incredible film footage, and, you know, most of it is now out of copyright, so if you're making a cool project, check it out.
Do check it out.
Yeah. But then the other one was from the video. And one of the things at the very front of the Stuff They Don't Want You to Know Bermuda Triangle video, there's a clip there. And that is from a recreation of this thing, the Flight 19 incident is what we'll call it, where those 5 planes went missing. And it was the acting was great, right? It was a translation. It was you know, actors.
They made some
English
choices.
to it.
It's true.
There was an aesthetic they were aiming for.
Yes.
So should we start with this incident?
Let's do Flight 19.
Let's do this. Okay, so here's the gist. Here's the setup. We're traveling back together, right? It's just after the end of World War II. The world is in shambles. Things are chaotic. Pretty much everybody's having a bad day.
Yeah.
Right?
Not
And
great.
in this milieu, it's December 5th, 1945, and people still have to do their jobs, right? So Flight 19 is a group of what we call torpedo bombers. There are 5 of them in this flight group, and they're leaving the Naval Air Station in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shout out to everybody from Fort Lauderdale. Okay, hang
we
on.
see you. We see you.
There
Hang on
has
a
to be a
second.
few. There has
Wait
to
for
be.
to hear the rest of the story.
Yeah.
So they're leaving, and it's a typical training flight. They've got one guy named Lieutenant Charles Taylor. He has all his bona fides. He's seasoned. He's a veteran. He knows how navigation works. It's a thing. And the rest of this crew, remember this, they're learning how to use
They're the
navigational-
trainees.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Got it.
they're the interns of the sky at this point. And so as they're going on, they're just trying to figure out how do we know we're leaving point A, we're going to point Z, how do we do that without things going sideways? And everything seems great until about 3:45 p.m., where we'd like to give you a little bit of a dramatic retelling of the true radio transmissions. Let's see, who wants to be Taylor?
Oh, I'll be Taylor, sure.
All right, nice. We got Noel Brown playing Taylor. Noel is an amazing voice actor.
Can I do walkie-talkie voice?
Yeah, you have to. So let's give a hand for Noel.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, Lieutenant Taylor, we're there.
Cannot see land. We seem to be off course.
What's your position?
We cannot be sure where we are. I'm panicked at this point. It says so right here. I'm panicked. That's a repeat. Cannot see land.
Now, those are Lieutenant Taylor's last recorded words, not the end of the story. The tower is freaking out, right? 10 minutes pass, 10 long, frightening minutes, and then a new voice chimes in. Taylor has disappeared, and this new voice is even more panicked, and they're saying, Matt, do you want to do this one?
Sure. We can't find west. Everything is wrong. We can't be sure of any direction. Everything looks strange, even the ocean.
Wow. That's a lot.
Dude, but here is the craziest part. You ready?
Yes.
We can't tell where we are. Everything is... I can't make out anything. I think we may be about 225 miles northeast of base. It looks like we're entering white water. What does that mean? We're entering white water? We're completely lost. That's it.
Yep.
That's all you
Flight
get.
19, come in.
That's it.
Flight 19, come in.
Can I tell you what I imagine just quickly?
Let me hang
Entering-
up my... Let me hang up my...
Oh, okay, thank you, Bill. We are entering white water. I'm just imagining the visual of seeing white water in front of a plane, right? So in my mind, that's either, you're angled down and you don't realize it. That's not great. But the other thing, it's kind of wackadoo and it's out there. But I imagine stuff from the Marvel universe, guys. Portals. I imagine a portal.
I knew it was only a matter of time before we got to
Go
portals.
multiverse with it. Walk us through.
I know it's silly. It's very silly. It's probably
Is it, though?
not anything to do with the truth of the matter. But when you see some mysterious story like this and you hear the last words of somebody who truly did disappear, I like to allow my mind to go to that place. We like to allow our minds to go to that kind of place, not to truly think, hey, that's probably real, but more as though, well, what if it was that? Would anything else match up?
And if that is true, then what else does that lead us to, right? Because if we know portals, I'm sure we know portals. I'm not alienating anybody. There's always more than one portal, right? Because a portal goes somewhere.
Yes.
All right, what's up next? Airline food. Anyway, so we have tons of these examples or things that people will say or clear examples, proof that there's something spooky in the Bermuda Triangle. There's the story of the Ellen Austin in 1881, the USS Cyclops. We've also got that cool boat name, Witchcraft.
Yes.
The luxury cruiser. And in all of these cases, which you can find in all sorts of Bermuda Triangle lore, the skeptics and the true believers both agree that those cases we just named have no proven cause. We don't know why they disappeared. We don't know where they went, but as we also learned, there are a couple of cases where the answer is there, but people don't really want to look into it because it messes with the story.
Well, it's a bit of a case of confirmation bias, where enough things come out, people start to sort of build a lore around it, and then before you know it, the Bermuda Triangle is this cursed, portal to hell or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Objectively
Theoretically,
awesome.
just conceptually, that it could exist.
Or a portal to Reno, which is kind
Also
of the same
true.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the witchcraft?
Yeah, we can talk about real quick.
I don't know. I just think it's a badass name. Luxury
Yeah,
cruise liner called the
exactly. Yeah,
Witchcraft.
that's what I was saying. Yeah. It's 1967. It's December 22nd, right before Christmas. And there's a real estate developer named Daniel Burak. And Daniel's been doing really well. He owns a yacht. And he gives it a sick name. And he takes his friend out with him at night to see the Miami skyline, right? It's pretty cool.
Which is nice, yeah.
Just a fun cinematic detail. His buddy is a Catholic priest named Father Horgan. They only go about a mile out from shore. The Witchcraft becomes disabled. What happens next?
Oh, I don't even know, dude. No, I'm just joking. They put out a distress call, and they're asking for somebody to come out and help them, right? And they said, hey, this isn't a big deal. It's not some kind of emergency. It would be really cool to get some kind of rowboat, something out to us so we can get out of this boat that's disabled. That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Oh, and 19 minutes later, support does show up. But the thing is, the Witchcraft isn't there.
It's gone.
Yeah, and this is 67, so it's modern enough that they have some technology that'll allow them to scout more effectively than someone in the 1800s, right?
Yes.
But nothing vanished. A poof and a pop.
A bit of a poof and a
Saying.
pop.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Well, it's pretty simple. Like if you think about that rationally, right? Somebody gets a distress call from a ship, then they come out to help, and the ship's not there. Okay, something happened. That ship sank, and that's it. End of story. You're going to have missing people now, and you're going to have a missing ship. But if you're, rationally thinking, okay, that ship sank. The great thing about this topic and thinking about it in this way is, what if it didn't, man? What if that ship got zapped out of time, or grabbed by a kraken?
Or
that's my
kidnapped
favorite.
by extraterrestrials. You know what I mean? What if they got a non-consensual beam me up Scotty situation?
Like the whole ship just ends up in the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing that's also important to think about in these cases is how, we pointed out earlier, how vast all of this is and how little we know about what's down there and how objectively difficult it could potentially be to find one of these things, even if it sunk in a place where you kind of thought you knew where it was.
Yeah, needle in a haystack times a million.
Yeah.
And get this, folks, depending on who you read and who you talk to, these stories that we gave you are fairly recent, the past few centuries. You'll find plenty of authors saying it goes much further back. A ton of the books will tell you that mysterious events in the area predate the name Bermuda Triangle, maybe the name Bermuda. And they'll say that even like way before European ships reached this part of the world, all the locals knew there was something strange afoot or afloat.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sure.
Okay, yeah. There in the sea. So for thousands of years then, the pitch is this part of the ocean is like a haunted house, right? Spooky stuff. And even now in 2025, you'll hear people saying, well, I'm a skeptical person. I'm a modern person. But is there something to this? Maybe there's something to it. So that's our question. What's going on?
How many people here think there might be something strange going on in this part of the ocean?
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot
wow.
of hands.
That makes me feel
Yeah.
so much better about my alien ideas.
Yeah, and I would accept sea monsters.
Okay.
I would accept sea monsters as
Eldritch horrors.
Yeah,
beneath,
Rises.
beneath the deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if it's ancient sea monsters, I say that's what we get for eating all that octopus.
It's probably true. They're
It's
sentient
a comeuppance.
creatures.
It's a real comeuppance.
Watch My Octopus Teacher, and you'll never want to eat another squid again. It's true.
I saw one of those things where we just learned about in the press.
The micro
the cool snap, like
micro
spoken
clap.
word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But so that's seriously our question. Is there an answer?
Batten the hatches. Something with the mast. Something with sails. We're pausing for word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back on the high seas. And we've returned.
Here's where it gets crazy.
Oh, every time he says it. I love it.
We think we've solved the mystery.
I mean, not we directly.
We think
but-
civilization has
Yes,
solved the
yes,
mystery.
Yes.
Not just us and Dylan. And thanks again, Dylan. So hopefully we haven't spooked anybody out too much. Hopefully we're all still having a good time, especially because we really want to come back and hang out with you more often, if that's okay. If you feel a little squirrely about the possibility of us all suddenly disappearing, we have some good news. We've looked into everything about the mysteries, all the reported incidents and cases, and a lot of the tall tales, the really juicy ones, they're great stories, but they're just that. They're stories.
And they're awesome.
And they're awesome. And some of them have aliens, which I'm very excited. So, all right, this is where maybe we do a little bit of another game. So we're gonna ask you a question, and we want you. It's multiple choice, no pressure. And so we want you to give a shout out when you think you've got the right answer. So the size, the number of the numbers. That's what we're running through. Okay, so the actual size of the Bermuda Triangle. Let's kick it. Let's give some options. Okay, so we'll run through the first. There are three choices. We're going to do those first, and then we'll start cheering for the one we think is correct.
That's right. Is it A, 20,000 to 100,000 square miles?
Got no takers there. Okay, we got B, 200,000 to 250,000 square miles. We should run through all of them, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
then
We're
we'll
not
go
cheering
back.
yet.
Yes, not
We're not
yet.
cheering
Okay,
yet.
cool,
No,
cool,
they
cool.
get it.
Got
They're
it, got it.
cool.
No, I
They're
didn't
cool.
get it. It was
Yeah.
me.
All right.
So we got C, 500,000 to 1,500,000 square miles.
Okay, so those are our choices. We'll do it one more time. So cheer for which you think is correct. A, 20,000 to 100,000. All right, okay. I like it. I like the energy. B, 200,000 to 250,000. Yeah, okay. All right, okay. All right, high bar here. So for the C folks, 500,000 to 1,500,000 square miles. Yeah. All right, if you guessed C, get it because we're at C, then congratulations, you are correct. It is a huge part of the ocean.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten that right.
I probably can't count to 1 million.
No,
you
it's
know?
true.
Who has
It'll
the time?
take a long time.
So this is the idea that we're in a specific region of the world, a tiny triangle, bounded by Florida, Bermuda, and of course Puerto Rico. So whenever something bad happens in that area, or something mysterious, even the most skeptical of us will shrug and say, Bermuda Triangle.
Well, and so expert oceanographers around the world know that some parts of the ocean are trickier to navigate than others, but there genuinely doesn't seem to be a significantly higher amount of mysterious events here comparatively, right? It's got to remember that confirmation bias aspect where people are creating these stories, building this lore and this mythology, and it starts to just become this kind of go-to for people kind of cooking up these stories, and then this notion of it being more dangerous than the rest of the massive amounts of area that the ocean encompasses are.
The ocean is just
crazy.
that big.
Wait, we should have gotten with Virgin and found the number of cruises that go through this area. If somebody knew something about that, like on a yearly
It's around
basis.
200, I think.
Cruises we can guess. but this is also it's a very big, very busy part of the ocean. So we don't know how many vessels and aircraft are passing through at any given time.
That's right.
We don't know the totality. And basically, the more boats, the more vessels and planes you have passing through the area, the more opportunities there are for some shenanigans to occur.
And that's everything from a mechanical error on a vessel to freak incident with a wave, which we will talk about in a little bit, or even a weather pattern. We talked with Jamie backstage about there was one incident on a ship one time where a tornado just went right through the center of the thing. And nobody knew that was going to happen because you can't predict that kind of weather, and you do your absolute level best to make sure everything's going to be fine and good to go. But just the weather is a separate power that we have nothing to do with, you know? It's just, I think what we're talking about is you increase the number of people and ships and vessels, planes in an area, you're going to increase the number of potential problems, right?
Yeah, potential non-consensual adventures.
And it is thousands of cruises that pass through the Bermuda Triangle every year. And the answer, if you were wondering if it is avoided, it's just not.
It's absolutely not. I mean, look at us. You guys are all cool. We're here now.
We're fine.
So another fun fact that we learned while we were researching this is all ships need insurance, right? And if the Bermuda Triangle is really this a hive of scum and villainy,
portal to hell, right?
Portal to Reno or whatever, then we know that there would be problems insuring it. No company would insure these ships if that were true. Not even Lloyd's of London, and they're the folks who insured J-Lo's butt. You know what I mean? Like they'll go for anything, right?
Is that real?
That
I think it's real. I think it's real.
That's astounding.
Another big factor, going back to what you were saying there, Noel, is that everyone loves a good story. So the first story about the Bermuda Triangle, it's actually way more recent than people think. It comes from a newspaper in 1950, where this journalist in Arizona, of all places, was like, Gibbs, all these ships, all these planes, right?
Landlocked Arizona, he's an expert.
And he's never been to the Bermuda Triangle. And then he didn't use the term, the actual phrase Bermuda Triangle doesn't come until 1964.
That's Vincent Gaddis. I heard about this guy.
Writing for Argosy, I believe.
Yeah. And so along with a handful of other people, our guy, Vincent, we'll call him Big V, because that's a cool nickname. So Big V is one of the main reasons people talk about the Bermuda Triangle, because people hear this story and they love it, and more folks learn about it, and the great game of telephone and whispers begins. And so from the 1960s, to the 80s, to the 90s, people, every time they hear about a tragic event, they start looking for an explanation. Because that's what we do. We're humans. We want patterns. We want answers. And folks started making up their own ideas. You are super into aliens. You hear about this and you go, oh man, I was thinking about this earlier. Aliens, bro. And
Well, I mean, or real, let's say, government craft or experiments. We know about lots of testing that occurs out in the desert in the continental United States. There's also testing that's done in the waters of the territory of the United States. And I'm only pointing them out because I'm from there, okay? But, every government tests all kinds of things, and international waters would be a place to test things where something may or may not go wrong, which is just, again, we try and keep all potential possibilities there that would be way more rational than how much I wish it was aliens.
I think we're all on the same page with that one.
Okay.
We want to believe, right? And then there's another thing I love that explanation, because there's another thing with time travel where somebody's already super into time travel and they hear about a missing plane and they go, you know what? I got it. Time travel.
Was it time travel?
It was time travel, dog.
Yeah.
And so we also see people who think about ancient civilizations. Atlantis, Lemuria, right? Bimini Road. We learned how to pronounce it.
It's true, because we're going there.
And they say maybe there's an ancient civilization involved. But the hard truth is that no matter what explanation we prefer, planes and ships have disappeared.
And unpack that for me just a little bit, Ben, the idea of Atlantis returning and of that being like one of the the theories.
Yeah, which gets, I mean, it's mix and match. You know, you're at the buffet of conspiratorial thought. So you can take a little bit of Atlantis and say, oh, Atlantis is coming back. Take a scoop of time travel, that on, you know, just roll it onto the tortilla or burrito bowl.
Dan really likes quesadillas.
Yeah, I'm going through it, yeah.
Bimini Road really does look nuts, though.
It does look like it, yeah. You guys have heard about this, right?
Do you know Bimini Road, anybody?
Bimini.
Okay, good. Well, a couple of us do. We're going right out there. I don't think we actually get to go to that section of the North Island, but it's incredible. It doesn't look real. It looks like somebody built something down there in the seafloor, right off of the North Island there.
Yeah, it looks like carved stone, like a paved road that just fell beneath the waves at some point, and it looks gigantic.
Yes, but there does appear to be a standard explanation of just weathering of those specific stones and the structure of those stones, and nothing to see here, basically. But
so they say.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who are they, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We shouldn't have called this stuff they don't want you to know. All right, shout out to they. We also know that again, people wanted explanations and couldn't find one until modern science led to breakthroughs in the Bermuda Triangle mystery. And like we were talking about a little bit earlier, one of the biggest ones is surveillance. Because back in the day, we would all hop on our whaling vessel or whatever, and we would be like, Margaret, my dear, I will see you in 8 months or 4 years. Hope you keep your schedule clear.
Imagine getting on a ship and doing what we're doing right now, looking out and seeing what you see, and knowing that there's a manifest somewhere, there's a piece of paper somewhere on one side that says we're leaving with this stuff and this many crew members and we're heading in this direction, and then there might be someone on the other side at the destination with a similar piece of paper. Other than that, good luck.
Yeah, right? And so people would go missing. There wasn't radio. There weren't satellites, It also meant that if you were running late, people would be way nicer to you than they would be if you're running late today. They would just be happy you made it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so we're keeping it positive. That's one advantage. But the thing is, there were a lot of disadvantages. We had to hope the weather was kind. We had to hope nothing went wrong, privateers, pirates, just mechanical failures. Sometimes things did go wrong, and if you're waiting for the ship, let's think about that. You're the family, you're over in Nantucket or something, and you're waiting for your loved one to come home, and you don't ever get a solid confirmation, right? Or you're at a port in the Carolinas, and they were going through what we call the Bermuda Triangle now. By the time someone decided, we have to go look for this missing ship, months could have passed.
Yeah, well, and again, you just have to think about the relative size. As massive as this ship is, like walking up to it or riding up to it, it was just like kind of mind-blowing. But compare that to the absolute, utter, endless vastness that is the ocean, at large. It really is a needle in the haystack kind of situation.
Yeah, the odds are against us, yeah. And luckily, the good news is we've got modern communication, satellite technology. It's made everything much safer. It's also made it a little more difficult to get away. I get that. But here on the Valiant Lady, our amazing crew is in constant communication. You know what I mean? They're talking to the sky, and they're talking to all the ports we go to.
Blasting horns and stuff.
Blasting horns.
Heart attacks.
And I think we all have maybe contacted a loved one on the shore. That's amazing that we can do that.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is pretty good. Pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, like you were saying, there's a discrepancy of scale. The ocean is a living, volatile ecosystem. It's better to think of it as its own big animal, right? And that's when we get into being at the mercy of atmospheric conditions. Because early ships, like the brigantines and all that stuff we imagine, they're much smaller than we would think. So the wrong kind of wave hits them, and it's skedaddled.
Are we talking about rogue waves, Ben?
Why don't we talk about rogue waves?
We should.
Or freak waves, which I think is a more fun name.
It is.
Yeah. So, if we're not familiar with that term, this is the concept that there's a wave so large it would be roughly 30 meters in the air. If you just looked out and you saw a wave, what is the equivalent of 30 meters? Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to do it right now. I don't even know what it is in feet. It's a huge freaking wave. It shouldn't be that tall.
It's like a wall of water.
Yes, and these were tales that were told by people that were sailing vessels all across this area in the Bermuda Triangle, and it wasn't believed because at the time, especially when they're being experienced, there's not really good camera footage that you could actually confirm that there was a 30-meter wave that came across. It wasn't until 1995 when there was an oil rig that actually did have some sensors on it that were able to test each wave basically that comes up against this oil platform, and there was I think it was 29 meters of a wave. Way higher than any wave could have been shown by what do they call that? Not the lateral model. There's a specific model that they use to tell you the smallest waves and the largest waves you're going to encounter based on wind speeds and currents and things like that. And this was just way higher.
Yeah, and with no precedence, no heads up, no spoiler alert, and scientists didn't even really believe in these things until the past few decades. It was kind of like ball lightning, which is another really cool. Okay, different episode. I'm getting carried away.
I got the measurements wrong really quickly.
Yeah.
It's 25.6 meters was the one that was measured on that day on that oil platform, and that is 84 feet. So an 84-foot wave.
Yeah, and these extreme storm waves, that's another term you'll hear, and that could be a plausible explanation for some, but not all, of the events we talk about in the Bermuda Triangle. So we know that there is some science behind it, right? And we know when we bugged the captain, we talked to Captain Damir, and he gave us, for me, this is one of my favorite lines we heard. We're meeting, hanging out with him, and I said, okay, I've got to know. We're doing this show, right? We're hanging out with people. What do you guys think, and Deputy Captain Mirren, what do you guys think of the Bermuda Triangle? And this is a quote. It's a very, very distinct voice. We're not going to do his voice. But he says, I have been across the Bermuda Triangle many, many times. And look at me. I haven't disappeared. That was pretty good. Like, he's got comedic timing.
He's tough, though. He's tough.
He's tough.
Yeah. He's got gravitas.
I've never disappeared.
No, it's true.
So we want to give it up again one more time for our captain, our deputy captain, if we could.
Yeah.
And they're just the coolest guys. We're in excellent hands here with them and the crew. So have we solved this?
I have a question.
Yeah.
We've all seen like the Navy coming out with official videos of things that appear to be unidentified aerial phenomena or unexplained phenomena up in the skies, sometimes in the oceans. Does anybody here believe that there's actually some kind of, be it extraterrestrial or interterrestrial or whatever thing, intelligence that is on Earth right now? Does anybody believe that?
Yeah.
Really?
My people. All right.
Do you ever feel like we're being programmed to believe that? Sorry, that's me going really deep into it. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Go for it, yeah.
That's a middle of the night looking out on the ocean thoughts. But it does seem like, and specifically vehicles that appear to be going into the ocean from the air, that kind of transmedium object and concept, that has a hold on me, I think, because it could explain some of the other phenomena that we end up seeing and that our militaries, navies see out there in the oceans. I don't know. I want to explore that even more. And there's some people right now working on documentaries. Oh, our buddy, I can't think of his name right now, who does the UFO stuff.
We got it.
Jeremy Corbell.
Yeah.
They're doing all kinds of really interesting stuff, attempting to get like official documents through Congress and actually have testimony about true experiences and sightings. And we just can't wait to see that play out.
Transmedium meaning that something could be under the water like a submersible and then immediately violate what we know about physics and technology and just yeet itself into the atmosphere.
Or opposite, just
yeet
into
itself down. And again, yeet is the technical term. So what we're seeing here is that we're not giving up on the space bubbles, right, guys? Space-time bubbles. We're not giving up on the aliens.
Can we just add one more thing? We
do
talked a little bit about probability and just about how maybe this is this confirmation bias at play. There's this Australian scientist named Carl. Kruzelnicki, I think is how you say it, who has for years been preaching this gospel, this idea of there's nothing special about this region. It is just a numbers game overall. And NOAA, the
National Oceanic Atmospheric
Authority? It's
They're
authority.
legit.
Anyway, they're legit for sure. It's authority. Yeah, and they believe the same thing. I mean, they for years have been saying this is just a numbers game, and it is just this idea of the stories we tell ourselves, the way that lore can kind of perpetuate itself over time. So, not to be a buzzkill about anything, it's certainly possible that we might get beamed up while we're on this delightful voyage, but chances are pretty low.
And I love that point you're making, too, because it tells us about the power of stories, right? The story and the lore of the Bermuda Triangle is really a story about the people who are finding and discovering those stories.
And the friends we made along the way.
And the friends we made along the way. We are the stories we tell ourselves.
The friends we made at Scarlet Night.
In
the middle of the ship when we summoned that Kraken. Remember, you were there.
You were there. The friends we made when we took some excursions. Shout out to Ugo, right?
Ugo!
And we also know then that science has officially, to their mind, solved the Bermuda Triangle, but have we? And that's where we wanted to pause because, folks, as you could probably tell, we have been doing this show for a long time, and we have so much more to explore. You are the reason this show exists. And thank you for tuning in. If you're a true crime fan, a UFOlogist, a fellow conspiracy realist, give yourselves a hand, please.
Oh, you
really get into it.
You stuck it out.
Yeah.
And so there you have it, folks. We're big fans of showing our work, as they say. So please write to our bosses in accounting and tell them we actually did the thing we said we were going to do. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please tune in later this week. You are also going to hear a very special live Q&A session we had after the show. In the meantime, we can't wait to hear your thoughts, not just about the Bermuda Triangle, but about other allegedly mysterious places across the seas and the land, anywhere in your neck of the global woods. So tell us your thoughts. Find us online, call us on the phone, or send us an email.
That's right. You can find us at the handle Conspiracy Stuff, where we exist on Facebook with our Facebook group. Here's where it gets crazy. On X, FKA, Twitter, and on YouTube, where you can find piles, oodles of videos to peruse and enjoy. On Instagram and TikTok, however, we're Conspiracy Stuff Show.
Our number is 1-833-STDWYTK. Call in. It's a voicemail system. Give yourself a cool nickname. Let us know if we can use your name and message within the message. If you don't want to do that, why not send us an email? We are
the entities that read each piece of correspondence we receive. Be well aware, yet unafraid. Sometimes the void writes back. Couple quick Bermuda Triangle jokes. The Bermuda Triangle is a great vacationing spot. Most people that go there never come back. While some of these are terrible. Okay, and some are not appropriate for public consumption. But if you want to hear some more terrible Bermuda Triangle jokes, write to us, conspiracy@iHeartRadio.com.
Stuff They Don't Want You to Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.